Welcome back to Tablet Talks. This is part three, yes, part three of episode two, where we are reading Jayce Charles Thoth's true rendition of my tablets. I had no idea that I was not actually me. But luckily, I was enlightened through Amazon to learn that there's actually not Chase, no, not Chase, but Jayce, Jesus Chase. So Chase with a J. He's the whitewashed version of me, here to be sacrificed so that you can worship something outside of yourself. Real Chase, Chi Chase, Chicatet Chase, is here to let you know that you are as powerful as you want to communicate. Now, if you want to communicate the imagination of other spirits with your vibration, then that's fine. But you're only going to then experience the universe inside of their imagination when literally you can have true freedom if you create your own imagination and use wisdom in how you do that. That's what I'm here all about, giving you in all these videos. So it was supposed to be these tablets. Now it has to be videos because the tablets have been changed. Changed constantly with one intention. No matter like how different they may seem, the intention, as we're going to see as we continue this series, is going to be to make you think that your spirit, which is infinite all possibilities, a zero, like anything, infinity and beyond, that's your spirit. They want to make you think that that is light. So they want to make you think that you can see the spirit because they can colonize the sea. So this is the whole spiritual warfare of these light supremacists colonizing what you can see and then making you think the spirit is something that you can see so that they can disconnect you from your spirit forever and keep you trapped on their simulation virtual reality version of life or whatever. So, if you want real freedom, you can keep watching. Because if you're into my tablets, I really feel bad for everyone who, like, on the internet just is typing out all these long paragraphs about how my tablets changed their life, when literally it's just fulfilling a spiritual desire. Like, it's like wisdom, but then, like, throws them over the cliff of, like, and you need to get full of our light. Unity consciousness. So, actually, let me take a hit before I even get in here. Because it's very simple. Truly, you create light. You have your own imagination. There's nothing stopping you from creating your own religion. It's only then that people feel like worshiping or giving their soul to something outside of themselves, which they are the soul. So that's how they step out of their own space. And now they're always fearful. Because if you're not in your own space, operating from your own space, you're going to feel like you're not in control. And that's what fear is. Fear is the feeling that you can lose your freedom. And the whole point of having a home or being a spirit is that you're infinitely free in your own space. It's just that then we create simulations. We create worlds on purpose as spirits together so that we can learn who we are outside of our space. Because everyone talks a big game when they're in their space, right? Everyone can do everything when they're in their own space. But what happens when all these infinite individual nothingnesses come together and agree on rules to express their infinity? Now it becomes more of, competition and collaboration. Two C's. I love the C. Chase Clarence Calloway. Jayce Charles is really trying to ride my C. Clearly. Clearly. So, whatever, bro. It's bound to happen. This is colonialism. When you create ideas that spirits can see, and they're very awesome ideas, it's only a matter of time when, if you, especially you leave those ideas unattended because you go create way more awesome ideas in other simulations, some other spirit will, colonize your idea and then just like try to cap your vibration with their own so that everyone who's trying to raise their vibration to the vibration you were at when you released that wisdom can now only go up to the vibration of the spirit who has changed the language and reformatted that wisdom into their purpose. Jayce Thoth. And really just the establishment that has put him there on Amazon and all this. So again, light supremacy. The whole point of spiritual colonialism and how it functions is that it needs to use light to separate you from your spirit. And then that's just where it's a big test as to if you feel like being separated from your spirit or not. I'm never separated from my spirit. And that's the paradox. You can never separate from spirit. So light is an illusion. It's only ever going to express more feelings that are coming from a spirit. So, catch 22 or something. All right. We're about to get in here. Part 3. This is we're gonna see if there's a part 4. Whatever. I'm pretty sure this should be short. Like, this is about to be, at some point, we're just like covering the rest of whatever they decided to release is Jayce Charles. And then there's gonna be like rituals and things at the end. And like rituals are cool, but like rituals, in my opinion, are meant to be way more subconscious. Like way more subconscious. And honestly, like no one should really be telling you a ritual to do. Like you can learn about the rituals other people do, and you can learn about the world around you. But the point is that everyone is so infinitely individual that what works for you isn't really meant to work for someone else. Because we all have a space in the universe, because we're creating the universe. So we're creating our own space because we are the space. So we're just externalizing our infinite nothingness space, which means we had to internalize it first because we're all separate. We had to feel like connecting. That's how there's different levels of the universe. The fact that these tablets are not talking about this at all, like they literally don't want you to have the freedom of traveling anywhere. Like a true ibis, by the way. All these videos about Thoth, like, oh, he had an ibis, you see, for a head because the ibis would peek the head into the dirt and pull it things out like food, and it was a metaphor for how he would go into darkness and get wisdom. And that's cool, like, yeah, go into darkness, but then it's like, what is darkness? You go into feeling. So like the whole point is that we should be riding a vibe back to our spirit anytime we're in a body. Anytime we're in a body and we are too much in the vibe of the world that we're in, it is essential that we fast, stop eating the thoughts of the world that we're in, and catch the vibe of our spirit and like get more in tune with our heart, because that's the vibe of our spirit. And then that's where we can ride like the intention of why your spirit made a body, because so many people don't even know why they're here. And so that's what like this colonialism relies on, is trapping spirits' minds who forgot why they made a body. Because like the spirit didn't just make a body for no reason. It didn't make a body to serve something else. Unless it did, then you're probably not watching this video because you don't even resonate with me. Like if you're a spirit that made a body just to serve someone else, then you're probably not here. I'm pretty sure everyone who meets and connects with me desires more freedom. That's like the natural state of the spirit. Any spirit who doesn't desire freedom is like just like specifically that's an intention. Like they are sort of lost in light, or it's just, they feel like doing something else. That's the universe. Yeah, these tablets are whack because they're just so limiting to Earth. And that's what we just covered in this episode too, is how these tablets, Jayce is trying to say that your spirit, or like things that animate everything, comes from Earth, when we're creating Earth to experience ourselves. We have to create bodies within bodies within bodies within bodies to ground things, and then they're all based in cycles, and then that's why we can like observe the natural cycles of nature and look at astrology, because we made those things to express ourselves, and then we put ourselves in a specific time and place so that we can like logically trace out how things are going to happen based on our chart if we like really care enough about looking at how everything is connected in that way and be able to ride the vibe of that simulation better. Or you can just focus on your own vibe, and like that's like the balance of everything. If you are in the all one universe, it's doubly collective as it is individual. You are an individual deciding to connect with other individuals. Therefore, everything is teamwork. If you want to do things alone, then you kill yourself. That's like literally your body is trillions of cells. You can't live here alone. You're not alone ever. Your body is so many fucking spirits working together to keep you breathing air all the time. Unlock the door. List ye, O man, whilst I give the secret, so that ye too shall taste, not of change. 1 hour each day thou shalt lie, with thine head pointed to the place of the positive pole, north. 1 hour each day shalt thy head be pointed to the place of the negative pole, south. Okay. I mean, honestly, like right here, this is extra. I'm like just gonna say that right now. That's extra. Um, like the thing is, like with logic, like logically, it's not super hard to like project the ways in which this makes sense. But this is all just reliant on the lie that you are created by Earth. So I already like just feel like this is all these rituals and stuff that are about to come up here are just really going to be hammering in that you are created by Earth, and it's just going to be a lot of lostness about getting you trapped. All you need to do is talk to your spirit and communicate with your spirit, and then listen to the vibration and develop a language with your spirit. That's what I have been on since I've been a kid, and it's helped me not get lost. Because the world, almost any simulation you go to, any simulation you enter into, um, there's going to be ideas and stuff in that world that are going to be interested in trapping you there, because the world gets powered and gets larger based on how many spirits are there putting their soul into it. This is why worship is such a big thing. Um, and when thy head is placed southward, hold thou thy thought from chest to the feet. Hold thou in balance, one in each seven, and thy balance will retain the whole of its strength. This is lostness. Aye, if thou be old, thy body will freshen, and thy strength will become as a youth's. All you need to do, if you want eternal youth, don't be trying to like get lost in the world about where you need to go. There's nowhere to go. You are your space. You are nothing. You as a body just need to remember that and get in tune with that. And then when your body starts to actually communicate with your spirit and ride that vibration, it will feel ageless. It will feel timeless because it will operate from the spirit space. It won't operate like a body. And then it will actually get younger. Like it's not about getting lost in like some kind of technology or like the earth or nature or whatever. Like it's about you as a spirit trusting in your infinite nothingness to produce something that practicalizes that. That's the point of Earth, to practicalize infinity. Because infinity is just too chaotic as infinity. It doesn't even exist. And then feelings itself are too chaotic. Like people drown. So that's why like we have Earth now. We stand on Earth. We relate on Earth instead of water. We're not swimming water creatures necessarily. I, if thou be old, thy body will freshen, and thy strength will become as a youth. This is a secret known to the masters, by which they hold off the fingers of death. Neglect not, follow the path I have shown, for when thou hast passed beyond years, to 100 to neglect, it will mean the coming of death. Lostness. True lostness. This is like silly. How are you going to mention death without the soul? If you're scared of death, it's because you're scared of your soul. So you're scared of feeling alone. You're scared of going home. Because your soul is your man and woman. That's like your 8-dimensional energy. That is your, like, 2, feeling. But really your 8-dimensional energy in terms of how you bring your thoughts and feelings together when no one else is around, basically. When you're actually in your infinite spirit space. And if you're scared of dying and going back there, it's because you are already in hell. And this is why hell resonates with people in real life, quote unquote, because they're already there mentally. They're already projecting and creating this body from hell. And so they're here in a religion doing all these things that temporarily make them feel good. So it's like esoteric crack or drugs, worshiping something, and getting like a temporary high from giving your soul and giving your infinite nothingness to something that's making you feel better about being in a chaotic state, because it claims that it can make you, it can wash away your sins or whatever. And like it has to convince you of what sins are in the first place to then wash those away. So like you're like truly lost in logic when you're in that sort of state. And no judgment if you are. That's just where you're going to learn at some point that you're going to want to write your own story, instead of following this other story and constantly learning about it and then having your life at the reaction of like stories in the world and feeling like you have to like constantly update your life when you could have just gotten in touch with your infinite nothingness and been in the same state, in the same space, nothingness, or closer to infinity, just freedom. When we're thinking about a frequency, freedom, like true freedom, like freedom to think and do anything you want, no judgment. Because that's like very much what religions are about, is looking at that freedom and then being like, okay, but this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And now you have a much lower vibration and you're way harder in density, and you're not as free as the people who made your religion, who are making you feel bad about things that they don't feel bad about doing. And it's like, then in their perspective, because they're keeping you trapped, you're building their world, and they have way more freedom up here because there's more space, because they're in this scarcity mindset. Like we're not already all infinite nothingness space. They think that there like isn't enough space. This is where this world is claiming that there's overpopulation when it's literally only over resource consumption by like a very small group of humans. But they want to push the agenda, let's kill as many humans as possible. And so let's just say that it's a population problem, not a resource consumption problem, when they're the ones who are teaching people to eat 3 times a day with snacks in between and creating health problems and all the climate change issues. Whatever. Logic. Hear ye my words, and follow the pathway. Keep thou thy balance, and live on in life. This is lostness. Like, if you read this without me, it's just like, it's almost gibberish. Like, genuinely. It's genuinely almost gibberish. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying not to curse. It's kind of, I guess I got to expand my lexicon of words. But like, I, nah, like a good word, a good curse, a good little cuss, just to like cut through a little feeling or cut through what is to express a feeling is necessary for times like this. Because damn, this is rough. This makes no sense. Like for you to claim that you're me, like, oh, I am Jayce Charles, the true Thoth, and I came back to update my tablets because people are lost, and then say this? Wow, no way, bro. Continue keys of life and death tablet. Is this where we're at? Okay, man. This is rough. Like, these are not my tablets. Like, these genuinely are not my tablets. It's like they're literally just using like just enough of my vocabulary to like really trap people. And like using my story, of course. Because they don't have their own stories and then make up their own things. Hear ye, O man, and list to my voice. List to the wisdom that gives thee of death. When at the end of thy work appointed, thou may desire to pass from this life. Pass to the plain, where the sons of the morning live, and have being as children of light. Pass without pain, and pass without sorrow, into the plain, where is eternal light. Let's make this work, okay? Let's make this work. I'm frustrated. If you want to see Thoth get frustrated, come to Tablet Talks. Because this is not me. But it's like, let's make it work. Because it's like really just riding this frequency of truth. Okay, look. All right. Numbers are everything. So the realms, the 0, 1, and 2, though those dimensions, 0, 1, and 2, the 1, 2 in 0 dimension. Let me actually, I'm getting hella messages. Okay. Do not disturb, gang. Yeah, the 0, 1, and 2 dimension, this is darkness. This is the dark realm because it's the most dense. So this is where this is like desire realm. That's why it's called hell, because it's where all the light is like truly bending in on itself, and it's like everything. We cut out, and then I got lost in the vibe real quick. And we're keeping that vibe. I just made it more logical, so that's still going on in my head. We cut out right when I was talking about the numbers and how they correlate to the universe. So 0, 1, and 2. This is the all one realm. This is where spirits basically come to relate with other spirits. And this is where basically like everything happens. I mean, everything exists inside of zero. So it's like infinity and beyond. Like all the spirits that don't have their own individuality are here, and spirits with their own individuality may be here as well. Um, this is simultaneously the lowest and highest frequency. So this is where it's like the universe is so dimensional, and like the best way to explain it is a circle if you were to make it a shape, because already from there that zero going in one and two is all based on the vibration of that individual spirit. So like kind of see, can you like visually see how a circle comes out of that? um Maybe you can. I feel like you can feel it. uh that's where that's like hell. That's the dark realm, because it's just all desires. Um, because the ultimate desire for spirits is to not be alone, or not be, yeah, to not be alone. They'd rather be all one and like chase or whatever, get lost. Or then there's even just being desireless, and that's like zero. So that's why like zero going into one, that is zero, nothing, infinity, one. One individual's version of infinity, and then two would be one individual's feelings about their imagination of infinity. And then that's the all one realm. And then you get the alone realm. So that's like the death realm. Now we get the realm of life, where it is 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and 6 is where a spirit more so levels up, and they have more freedom because they are in a higher frequency based on those numbers. 4 being judgment, 5 being transformation, and 6 being a totally balanced and awesome creation. 0 being nothingness, 1 being imagination, 2 being feeling, and my bad, 3. So it's really 1, 2, and 3 are the low ones. That's why I'm saying like, see, 0 is a circle that everything happens inside of. Like desireless is infinity, because nothing is everything. That is a spirit. It's then from there, if a spirit gathers up feelings of wanting to be something, it goes from the spirit realm to the physical realm. It just has to create a mind to do that. And so that's why we have 3 realities, and everything's really going to happen in 3s. When we think about like solid, liquid, and gas, or body, mind, spirit, or like energy, vibration, frequency, man, woman, child. So 0, 1, and 2 are imagination, connecting, and communicating. And that's the all one realm, because everything's communicating. That's the all one realm. So really 0 is all that. 9, when we get to 9, that's like the 1 going back to 0. That's what 9 is. So 1, 2, and 3, all 1. And then we get the alone realm. So that's 4, 5, and 6. So that's where spirits learn how to be alone from the all one realm, hypothetically. So like if we're here, to make it relatable for humans, to like truly level up, you can like judge your environment, judge the way that things communicate, and transform yourself into a more balanced creation to express the way you want to communicate. And that's where you would become a higher dimensional being, basically. That's the point of going from the the 1, 2, and 3 into the 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and 6 is actually life. That's what, like, to make these tablets work, it's sort of talking about. When it's saying, when at the end of thy work appointed, thou may desire to pass from this life, pass to the plane where the sons of the morning live and have being as children of light. That would be like the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, where that's the light realm. Because instead of like darkness all down here, where it's like all light accumulating, so you're actually blind, people can see your vision up there because you have it way more clear. And that's the point of it being life. That's where like life really happens, because everyone I'm like talking to people, and it seems like people are saying that love, if you had to really boil down love to its truest essence, it is the desire to express oneself. And then you have to ask, well, what are you? What is oneself? And then if you can imagine anything, then you need to know that your imagination can be anything. It's just based on your spirit and your individual nothingness. Yeah, this screen recording stopped. I'm just gonna gang. Yeah. So you're only limited by your imagination. And then that's where to become denser, you become limited by the feelings about your imagination. So people, like when they talk about like they want to love somebody, but then they're scared of hurting that person, you just showed me going from 0 into 1 into 2. You went from 0, being a spirit, being a space in general, into 1, having an imagination, which means that you have the desire to express your nothingness, and you want to do that to someone. So that's already 2, someone. So that means you want to connect it to something else, but then the moment you connect it to yourself, you decide not to connect it to someone else because you are scared of something. And that's where you become your own demon. And that's how a spirit then balances out its imagination and creates life. And that's life. Is like your desire and then everything that balances out your desire. All the negativity, basically. Right? Like anytime you see something you want, that's like a whole lesson in stories. Like once you get it, then there's all these invisible things that you didn't want. And that's necessary for that thing that you wanted to even exist. Or else it literally just can't exist. It like actually can't exist. That's why fire doesn't create life. Water does. Fire is 1, water is 2. The fact that these tablets have not talked about numbers at all, and they're all like, oh, Thoth is a number god. Shame on you. Like that, I definitely wrote about it. I definitely wrote a lot about it, and definitely wrote a lot about how to use magic with numbers, because that's real. Any rituals and spells and magic you want to do, numbers are you. So just like, because that's going to be the logical understanding of grasping onto your infinity and how your infinity works together in like a structured system. Because I mean, if we're going to communicate, we got to make sense, right? So this is like what the tablets will be talking about. Passing out of the first, second, and third dimension of like just imagination and feeling and communicating about these things and getting to judge how you do that and create a new creation, a 6. And then that's where the spiritual realm is the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. And that's where 7 is just thought, 8 is your soul, 9 is when you get to bring your light body back into your spirit. That's why 9 just looks like that. Like a 0 and a 1 coming together. Because it's the 1 going back into the 0. And then that's why 10 looks like the 1 from the 9 just split off. And now the 0 separated it. And now the 0, basically 10 is Hev 10. So once you become a 9-dimensional being, that's you creating your own simulation or your own imagination that is bigger in space, because that's what that 10 is. It's not 1, it's 10. So 0 is space. It provides more space for whatever number that it is solidifying to exist. That's the, magical, awesome thing about 0 and spirits, and why spirit and nothingness is truly infinite. And anything that's finite or finite can only exist based on infinity. And the feelings or vibrations that are coming out of the intentions of whatever space is being expressed from infinity. All that. First lie at rest with thine head to the eastward, fold thou thy hands to the source of thy life, solar plexus. Yeah. Source of thy life being the solar plexus. So I'm also just gonna say right there that that is again lost in light. Your solar plexus is supposed to represent your spiritual individuality, your Jesus, so your star. So when we just think about like when it's nighttime and you look out into the cosmos and you see all these stars, that would be all these spirits' individuality, like how their light shines, basically. And it's only an example of what life looks like because this wants to get you trapped in life, in their version of life. They want to tell you that the source of your life is light. So the source of your life is going to be what your life looks like, is what they want. Because they control, or at least they want to, what your life looks like. And the more they can get you to subconsciously agree to this, the more they can do that. Send thou the one toward the northward, send thou the other out to the south. Relax thou their hold upon thy being. Forth from thy form will thy silver spark fly. Upward and onward to the sun of the morning, bending with light, at one with its source. Okay. There it shall flame till desire shall be created. Then thou shalt return to a place and a form. The fact that this isn't speaking in a way of like you create life yet is disturbing to me. Know ye, O men, that thus pass the great souls, changing at will from life unto life. Thus ever passes the avatar, willing his death as he wills his own life. Okay? I mean, cool. That's what we're all doing all the time. Like, evolution just reflects what we do spiritually. Like, we're constantly just making new bodies and then taking on bigger bodies and like more evolved bodies that like adapt to the environments that we also create to express ourselves. And we're just leveling up with these creations of us. Like, it's interesting that evolution is like, one can look at that and then get people lost in saying that, or I guess even just the English language. I mean, nothingness is infinite, but people who are scared of nothing, yeah, that's like a whole spiritual state then, I suppose. That like I had to like really project into to like empathize with. I suppose it's just not taught spiritually in terms of like what nothingness is. So when people think like, oh, okay, everything came from nothing, but no, because science says energy can't be created or destroyed. So it's like, did the Big Bang come from nothing? Did everything come from nothing and like you're scared of nothing? Or is it like you're scared of being energy and you're just energy because energy can't be created or destroyed? Then what are you? Like you're literally just what you see. Like that's the state that people are. Wow. Yeah, and that's literally what school forces us to be in, to like be considered intelligent anyway. Regurgitating lies of light like this. So that we can be a good little slave and get this imaginary concept from them in exchange for our infinite individuality. Know ye, O men, that thus pass the great souls, changing at form from life into life. Yeah, cool. List ye, O men, drink of my wisdom. Learn ye the secret that is master of time. Learn ye how those ye call masters are able to remember the lives of the past. Okay, great is a secret, yet easy to master, giving to thee the mastery of time. When upon thee death fast approaches, fear not, but know ye are master of death. Okay. Relax thy body. Resist not with tension. Place in thy heart the flame of thy soul. Swiftly then sweep it to the seat of the triangle. That's like kind of gibberish. Okay. But like, okay. Place in thy heart the flame of thy soul. So, right there to me, when we're thinking about the flame is what creates the soul. So, your flame is your imagination, and your soul is your individual feeling on your imagination in the universe, basically. And when we're talking about putting your flame into your soul, that's how you would create a Merkaba, or you would create a spaceship, you would create chi. You communicate with yourself, and you generate a three, this steam, like an atmosphere that inevitably becomes like a body in that way then. And then like the way you structure your body is like how you judge your four, and that's all four-dimensional energy from there. um, when they're talking about doing that and then swiftly sweeping it to the seat of the triangle, okay, so when we're talking about triangles, we're talking about the spread of an idea. So that is like a Big Bang or like a Kamehameha, right? When it's like a spirit is, they have their individual power and they're like, "Nyah!" And then they just like shoot this powerful light beam that expresses their vibration. And then their vibration's coming from their intention. And if their intention is to blast you away, you're about to feel that vibration and your body will alchemize and leave the simulation because they're Kamehameha. Um, so that's what like a triangle looks like, basically, or that's why like an eye can only see what it's projecting out based on its imagination. So everyone is limited to what they can imagine because everyone is limited to seeing light that they are projecting outward in that way. So that's why it's so important to like communicate with other people's imaginations, and everyone wants to grow in awareness as a spirit, so that they can see more and more of reality. And then this is just a universe forever, actually, because it's just going to be constant communication of spirits coming up with new ideas together based on how they're collaborating from their individual infinite spaces. So to take your seat, to put your flame in your soul, is like intentionally creating a spaceship that takes your consciousness back to yeah, to create a Merkaba, a spaceship to take your consciousness, your awareness back to the top of your triangle, is like going to the origin of your Big Bang, your Big Bang into the universe. And the unobservable universe, because we're talking about nothingness into fire. So your imagination, no one can see it until you feel like communicating it. So that's why it's like the unobservable universe is your fire imagination realm. The air realm is what fire. The air realm is what water looks like. Um, so when we're talking about, yeah, taking this spaceship, making that's pretty real. Just in the way that I'm saying it, though, this doesn't make sense here. So definitely focus and do that. That's pretty awesome. So if you can like just build that awareness, then build this spaceship of uniting your imagination with like a high vibrational feeling of wanting to do this, and it can be a constant practice, and like taking it back to like the origin of like when your spirit first externalized itself, then you're going to be in the point basically between the physical realm and the spiritual realm, and that's where it's like truly all mind, and like it's all your mind. um and that's sort of like the big key and point in meditation, is to meditate and get to that all mind point where it's so like you're not having any thoughts, right? Like you're more so truly observing. Like that's the point of the mind. Like you're not about to, and you can, but like for how long, right? I mean, you can. It's awesome. Like to have mental clarity and like have no thought and like almost no feeling even, and like truly into nothing. Like that's where you're getting into like desirelessness, and that's where you're like actually in the spirit realm, and you can really uh correlate life back there then, and like things are way more in your control. Like that's clairvoyance. That's like having clarity on a situation. Because any thoughts or feelings that like you're latching onto are truly only going to be conditioning based on the world that you're in that moment. So that would be like the whole importance in meditation, no matter where you are in the universe. It's like always getting back to your nothingness. So, because that is the intention, that's like where your first Kamehameha came from, your first explosion of imagination. So that would be the seat of your pyramid or your idea. Like that's the pyramids. The imagination, the intention of the pyramids is to allow humans to ascend, basically. So then, thus, that is the vibration that they were created with and carry and emanate. Great is a secret, yet easy to master, giving to thee the mastery of time. When upon thee death fast approaches, fear not, but know ye are master of death. Relax thy body, resist not with tension. Place in thy heart the flame of thy soul, swiftly then sweep it to the seat of the triumph. Hold for a moment, then move to the goal. This, thy goal, is the place between thy eyebrows, the place where the memory of life must hold sway. Hold thou thy flame here in thy brain seat. Okay. Until the fingers of death grasp thy soul. This is basically what I just said, but in weird terms. Then as thou pass through the state of transition, surely the memories of life shall pass too. Then shalt the past be as one with the present. Then shall the memory of all be retained. Free shalt thou be from all retrogression. The things of the past shall live in today. That slaps. Like, after everything I just said, this slaps. It's like a whole poetic, artistic way that literally it would then only make sense if you sat down with me in an interview and were like, hey, Thoth, what did you mean by this when in this poem you said, until the fingers of death grasp thy soul? And then I'd be like, oh, well, you see, the feeling of you expressing yourself is the infinite constant between all of your bodies. So if you're just in one body and you go back to that feeling, you'll be able to get in tune with all of your bodies and you'll realize your whole role in the universe. And then it would make sense. Then it would make sense. This doesn't. Lostness. Unlock the door process. Whole alignment meaning of numbers. 1 hour each day indicates one whole day. 1 in every 7 means once a week. So meaning complete together one whole day once every 7 days. Okay, 2 hours in one day out of a week, anyone can find the time, even in a busy global society like our own. These meditations are for those who truly seek their intent, shows willing to learn. Don't do these. Honestly. Do the meditations I just told you. The only thing you need to meditate on is your infinite nothingness. Like writing a high, like everything that I just said in this first part, all that makes sense, right? After I just said basically, and to correlate it to numbers, you want to generate an 8 that will levitate your 7 into heaven. And when I'm talking about heaven, heaven is 10. When you generate your 7 into heaven, you're taking your 7, which is your light body, into your 9, which is how you unite your imagination with your spirit by taking your imagination and raising the vibration high enough with your soul to bring it back into nothingness and have a body in the infinite nothingness realm. And then that's where you would then externalize your body and externalize your imagination and create 10. So now you're a spirit that has a greater space for your own imagination because you made it 10, and then you create 11. That's creating an imagination inside that imagination, and now numbers go on infinity. And then we can, we know like numerically all numbers are finite, and they're all on their way to infinity if they just keep going. And infinity is not something you can ever attain. So we're literally, as spirits, constantly creating new things together. So that's all you need to meditate on, honestly. Like, this is lay down facing the top of your head towards the North Pole. You can check out this book if you want to. This is aligning your body with the South Pole. So this is just truly all based in okay, cool. Thoth Charles and Thoth the Atlantean. Awesome. Way to go. You did a great job, Thoth Charles and Thoth the Atlantean. You're both so fantastic and so wise. Comedy. So this is, all reliant on making you believe that you are only of the earth, and thus that I'm only of the earth. And no, the fuck. This place is. I'm not gonna say not it. Because I love this place a lot. It's just the way that the establishment is going and how spirits are choosing to create in this space. We have infinity. Like, we can make anything, and we do make anything all the time. So, not attached, basically. But this is supposed to be a free space. Whatever. In my opinion. So, that is it for this Tablet Talks. We can thank Jayce Charles Thoth the Atlantean for this wonderful rendition of my text. I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Peace in. Peace everywhere. Overall, peace be unto you. Gang.